Wealth is not a thing you chase. It is not found in the distant land or the vaults of others. It does not wait for the economy to turn in your favor, nor does it rely on a perfect plan. True wealth is an inside job, a harvest born not of labor, but of consciousness. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are aware of being. Everything begins in the unseen. Before the gold fills the palm, it must first fill the mind, and what fills the mind must come clothed in feeling. It is not enough to merely wish for abundance. One must feel it as present, real, and already attained. All things are states. Wealth is a state. Poverty is a state. These are not external facts, but internal positions, spiritual locations that one inhabits through consciousness. The world does not create these states, it reflects them. And you, being the operant power, move between them by assumption. To dwell in the state of wealth, you must walk in imagination as the one who already possesses it. Speak from the place of having. Think from fulfillment. See the world as it would appear if your desire were already realized. The mind is the workshop of all creation, and within that workshop, imagination is the craftsman. It carves the invisible image into the clay of consciousness until the outer world has no choice but to take its shape. If you desire financial freedom, begin not by looking outward, but inward. Sit quietly, detached from the noise of facts. Facts are shadows of past beliefs. They are not final. They are reflections, not causes. The true cause is what you are imagining right now. Ask yourself, if I were truly wealthy, how would I feel? What would I do when I wake? How would I walk, speak, breathe? Let the answers come not from logic, but from feeling. And when the feeling comes, wear it, not for a moment, but as a new identity. Do not wait for money to change your inner state. Let your inner state change your experience with money. You are not waiting for wealth. Wealth is waiting for you to recognize it within yourself. Begin to look at your current world, not as a permanent reality, but as the outpicturing of past imaginal activity. If what you see displeases you, do not argue with it, simply revise it. Turn away from it in imagination and see what you would rather see. The first step in growing wealth is not saving, planning, or hustling. It is the planting of new assumptions. These assumptions, when accepted as real, harden into fact. So dare to assume wealth, not someday, but now, not with hope, but with conviction. When you do this, the outer world, being only a mirror, will rearrange itself to reflect the image you hold inside. And what was once invisible, a mere idea, will stand before you, real, solid, and yours. To feel something as real is to give it life. What you feel deeply, consistently, and with conviction must externalize itself in your world. There is no power in wishful thinking. To wish is to acknowledge separation. But to feel something as true, that is to fuse with it, to enter into union with the state desired, and to make it inevitable. The key lies not in effort, but in assumption. Assumption is not hoping. It is not desiring. It is not imagining something over there, as if it were apart from you. Assumption means to take the state upon yourself, to carry it as your identity, to walk in it as already done. This is the secret act invisible to others, yet more powerful than any outer action you could take. The law is simple. You must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Not the mere thought of it. Thought alone is weak. It must be thought, clothed in feeling, thought made alive by emotion, by inner conviction. The feeling is the secret. Whatever you consistently feel as true of yourself becomes your reality. If you desire wealth, do not imagine yourself desiring it. Desire implies it is still distant. Instead, imagine yourself as one who already possesses it. Ask yourself, if I were already the person I long to be, how would I feel right now? The answer to that question is your goal. That feeling is your treasure, for it contains the power to transform shadow into substance. You are not called to outline how the thing will come. You are not asked to build a bridge of incidents. That is not your concern. You are asked only to dwell in the end, to feel the wish fulfilled, and remain loyal to that state, even when appearances deny it, especially when appearances deny it. Reality responds not to the facts of your outer life, but to the truths you hold within. The one who feels wealthy, even when the purse is empty, is nearer to wealth than the one who counts coins but trembles with fear of lack. Feeling creates the state. Feeling builds the path. So, you must persist in the assumption until it becomes natural. Do not waver. The moment you return to the old feeling of lack, of limitation, of not yet, you begin to undo the work. Hold the new state as sacred. Return to it in the silence of each morning. Fall asleep in its embrace each night. Nothing can keep you from your assumption except your own refusal to feel it as real. The world outside will resist, yes, but only as a test of your faith. Persist in the inner knowing. Stay loyal to the feeling. For feeling is the divine substance from which all things are shaped. To feel the wish fulfilled is to lay the cornerstone of your new world. Once the feeling is accepted, the form must follow. The words you speak within yourself shape the world you walk through. Most imagine that creation is something that happens one moment, a spark, and then the world simply runs its course. But I tell you, creation is continuous, and the most powerful tool you possess in this ongoing process is your inner speech. The conversations you carry on with yourself, the words you silently repeat when no one is listening, are the builders of your reality. Whether whispered in fear or declared in faith, these words are seed. And every seed, whether of doubt or abundance, must bear fruit according to its kind. If a man would change his world, let him first change his inner dialogue. Let him listen closely to the tone of his thoughts. What is being said about money when no one is watching? What is being felt behind the words when bills arrive, when opportunities seem far, when the bank account appears small? For it is not the outer facts that form your future, it is the inner story you believe and repeat about them. You must take responsibility for what you are watering. To dwell in fear is to water weeds. To repeat stories of lack, even casually, is to fertilize the very conditions you wish to escape. Do not let your inner speech become a betrayal of your vision. Guard it, direct it, transform it into the speech of one who has already received. Speak inwardly from the place of fulfillment. Declare within yourself the truth of your new state, not out of desperation, but from alignment. Let your words be the natural expression of the feeling you have chosen to live in. Just as a wealthy man does not wake and question if he is rich, you too must speak from the consciousness of your desired state, not to make it true, but because it already is true in imagination. And the more you do this, the more you begin to feel the shift. Words carry frequency, and repeated inner speech will begin to mold your emotional state. As your feelings shift, your assumptions deepen. And as your assumptions solidify, they begin to crystallize in form. You may not see the evidence immediately. It may come through channels you do not expect, but persist in your new language. Continue the conversation from abundance, not about abundance. Do not discuss the lack of money. Speak as one who always has more than enough, who is never in need, whose life is flowing with increase. Even when the outer world tempts you to say otherwise, remain faithful to your new pattern of thought. The tongue of the inner man is the pen that writes the script of your life, and the script, once repeated, becomes your stage. You do not need to argue with circumstances. You only need to rewrite your inner dialogue. Make it a story of wealth, of ease, of ever-increasing supply, and the world will soon echo your new words in full form and living color. The world you see is not final. It is not fixed, nor is it the cause of your experience. It is the result, a reflection, a mirror held up to the inner man. And just as a man does not attempt to comb the reflection in the glass, You must not attempt to change the outer world without first correcting the image from which it springs. What appears before your eyes is nothing more than evidence of prior assumptions. The situations you face, the people you meet, the opportunities or obstacles that greet you each is born of yesterday's inner activity. They are echoes of states once occupied, feelings once indulged, imaginations once entertained. And so, if you are displeased with what stands before you, know that you are not bound to it. You are not required to fight it, nor must you beg for it to change. You are only asked to turn away from it and return to the true workshop, the imagination. There all things are made. There new futures are formed without resistance. You do not argue with a shadow. You simply turn toward the light. Likewise, when you behold unwanted circumstances, do not spend your power describing them, reacting to them, or fearing them. Instead, turn inward and replace them. Reimagine the scene. Rewrite it, not with effort, but with vision. See it as it should be, and dwell in that vision until it becomes more real to you than the facts that confront your senses. This is not denial of reality, it is mastery over it. For what you call reality is only the materialization of thoughts that were once invisible. Change your thoughts more precisely. Change your assumption, and the world must reshape itself to reflect the new state. The mistake most make is to judge their progress by appearances. They begin the work of inner transformation, but then look outward for confirmation. And when the outer world still reflects the old state, they grow discouraged and retreat to the former belief. But the wise do not look for signs. They trust the law. They remain in the state of the wish fulfilled regardless of outer evidence. Your job is not to wonder how things will change. The bridge of incidents is not your concern. You are not the orchestrator of means, you are the chooser of ends. Once you select and assume the end, the path unfolds naturally. Events will move, people will appear, circumstances will shift, all without your manipulation. But they will move in response to the new state you have claimed within. Therefore, attend first to your inner world. Make it beautiful, make it abundant, make it whole, and trust that the outer will conform in its perfect time. The garden grows not by pulling at the roots, but by trusting the seed planted in faith. Plant the image, feel it real, and wait not with worry, but with certainty. To live in the end is to claim your desire before it appears. It is to stand in the fullness of your vision as if it were already realized, to breathe as the one who already possesses all that they seek. The end is not a distant goal, it is the state of being that you must inhabit now. When you live in the end, you no longer speak of what you will do or what you will have. You speak from a place of having already arrived. You do not pray for what is to come, for your prayer is the expression of one who knows that the desire has already been fulfilled. The universe moves, not at your command, but at your belief in the truth of what you have assumed. The mind is the servant of consciousness. The imagination is the field of creation, and all things are created in consciousness before they manifest in form. To live in the end is to first imagine the end, and then remain faithful to it. Your assumption of the end, made real by feeling, compels the universe to reflect it. It is not a matter of waiting for the world to change. It is a matter of aligning yourself with the end result that you desire. To live in the end is not to be passive, not to sit and wait idly for things to unfold. It is an active state of being, one in which you embody the reality you seek. When you assume the feeling of having, you begin to act from that place. You do not wait for the appearance of wealth, success, or happiness. You act, think, and move as though it is already yours. The body must align with the mind, and the mind must embody the state. Many fail to see the power of this because they look for evidence in the outer world before they commit to living in the end. But the outer world is only a mirror, and it can reflect nothing that is not already established in consciousness. If you wait for the evidence to appear before you act, you will wait forever. The key is to walk in the assumption of the end, to carry it as your identity and speak from it in every moment. As you do this, the outer world must change to reflect this new state. Living in the end does not require struggle. It is not about forcing or striving. It is about trusting the process and remaining faithful to your inner assumption. The moment you assume the state of the wish fulfilled, the law of manifestation goes to work. Your task is simply to remain in the state, to persist in the assumption, even when the outer world appears to be showing you something different. The world will conspire to reflect your assumption, but it does not act instantly. Like the seed planted in the soil, the manifestation must grow and unfold in time. But you do not wait in doubt. You wait in confidence, knowing that what you have assumed is already on its way to you. To live in the end is to live in the fullness of now, to inhabit the state of your desire as though it has already been realized. By doing so, you command the law to bring your world into alignment with that state. You no longer need to look for what you desire. You are living it already. The world must conform to your inner knowing, to the assumption you have placed in your consciousness. And when it does, you will see your world change, as if by magic, for all things must bow to the power of your assumption. The wealth you seek does not exist in some distant future. It is not a prize hidden in time, waiting for you to reach it by a certain day or under a specific set of conditions. The wealth you seek is right now, already present, already yours. It is not a matter of waiting for the right moment, for the right circumstances, or for the right opportunity to align with your desires. It is a matter of changing your inner state, altering the consciousness from which you view the world. The world reflects what you feel to be true of yourself. Your inner state, that which you accept and assume as fact, must inevitably show up as your experience. This law is unbroken. It is constant. It is always in motion, always at work, whether you recognize it or not. The trick is to recognize it and use it to your advantage. You are not a victim of your outer conditions, you are the master of them. You are the creator, the designer, the architect of your reality. Many are unaware of this power, unaware that their very thoughts, emotions, and assumptions are the blueprints of their world. They continue to react to life as though it is happening to them, not realizing that they are in fact the cause of it all. If you are not seeing the wealth you desire in your outer world, it is not because it is not there to be had. It is because you have not yet accepted it within yourself. Wealth, in its truest sense, is not about possessions. It is not about things or quantities. Wealth is the state of mind that you must assume. Wealth is the consciousness of abundance. It is the awareness that there is no lack, no limitation, no scarcity. Once you embody this state, once you truly believe and feel that there is enough for you right here, right now, then the outer world has no choice but to reflect this abundance back to you. This is where most people go wrong. They believe they must wait for something external to change before they can feel wealthy. They believe that their circumstances must first align with their desires, that they must see the proof in their bank accounts, in their business, in their relationships, before they can feel the fullness of wealth. But this is backward. It is the feeling of wealth that precedes its appearance.